Hey guys, it's Mike White with Xcart Guru. Well, this is just going to be a quick WordPress tip. I call these quick tips. And it's just going to show us, how to do some specific editing, working with a specific layout. I'm answering a question in the forum, and I just thought this answer might help other people, so I'm making this video. So in this specific example, we're editing a Bootstrap-based Bootstrap CSS-based template. And some of the best themes and templates out there are based on Bootstrap. It's a great little platform. Okay, the essence of the problem is we've uploaded a new logo that is supposed to be the width of the entire site. We want it to span all the way across, but it's being constrained for some reason. If we inspect element here, we can see that we have this this header right here, and then there's a div that started, and then we have these two divs that are class call-md-4. If we drill into those, we can find the actual logo. There's a lot of other code around it, but here's the actual image that we're wanting to affect. And if we look at it, it says its natural size is 1076 by 237 pixels. So what's going on here? Why is it showing up and just barely 417 pixels wide? Well, it has everything to do with the CSS, of course. Now, I just want to explain everything. I've just set this demo up to recreate a situation online. This theme that I'm working with does not actually have Bootstrap. It's just a default 2013. But what I'm doing here is simulating, say we have some Bootstrap styles that are affecting an element. And how we would change those and change them in a way to not, mess with the Bootstrap platform and layout throughout the site. So we can see that this image is picking up a width of 100%. So it's going to be 100% the size of its container element. Okay, and the container element is this div class call-md-4, and that has a width set of 33.333%. Okay, so it is forcing this image. Those two settings are combining to force this over into this left-hand section. Now, if we just uncheck this, we get the full width that we're looking for. So we found the problem right there, and now we're going to see how to affect it. Every theme and template is different, so showing you how to change it in one particular theme is not going to help a wide range of people. So instead, I'm going to kind of teach you how to fish and show you how to find the change in your theme. So first, we need to decide how we want to make the change. And in this case, the best course of action, I believe, would be to just remove the call-md-4 class within the HTML. So the class is being assigned somewhere in a PHP file that's being rendered as HTML here. And then, the style is probably defined in bootstrap.css or style.css somewhere. That style is being defined. And in this case, normally I would, say let's just go change the style or let's override the style. But in this case, I'm going to show you both. We're going to look at targeting this class more specifically to override the style. And then we're going to look at how to just remove the class completely from the template. So let's refresh so we get this back to the way it was. And let's look again at the CSS style. Now, this is typical with Bootstrap and with responsive websites. This style has actually been defined within this media query that defines 992 pixels wide. So it has a min width of 992. So it's going to affect everything when the page is wider than 992. So right now it's at 1268 pixels wide. So this class is in effect. So to override this class, I don't want to actually edit the Bootstrap CSS if that's where it's coming from, and I don't want to actually edit the default templates style.css. I want to be performing these changes in my child theme. Now, I've given you a whole tutorial on creating a child theme, and you can watch that. But I'm going to be bad and edit it directly in the theme, like I've told you not to. Don't do as I do, do as I say. You see. What I'm doing here, though, is I'm going to revert all my changes after the tutorial. So it's just temporarily making it easy for myself without setting up a new child theme. So later I'm going to show you how to search for a file if you don't know how to find it. But we shouldn't have to search for our style.css. We're just going to go to our blog folder, into WP-content, into themes, and then we're going to go into our themes. In this case, it should be your child theme, but I'm going to go into this default theme 2013. And a required file in all theme folders is the main style.css. You may have a CSS folder that's got other style sheets defined, but you should also probably have a style.css. So I've opened up style.css in Notepad++. By the way, I have a local copy of WordPress here on my computer, and I've got another tutorial about that one if you want to watch. So the style sheet, has some declarations up here at the top, and then the styles begin right down here. And I've actually just gone to the bottom. You might want to look in your style.css and just see if it already has a section that defines this width that you're targeting here. So here you can see I prepared ahead of time and defined this media query, and that's what's affecting the page currently. So we have the @media min width 992px, and then we have a declaration of float left, and that applies to all these different columns. I just pulled this right out of bootstrap.css, and then we have the .col md-4, and there's the width being defined. So here we can see that it's defined directly in this style sheet. But let's just imagine that all this information was coming from bootstrap.css, and we need to override it and be more explicit in our overriding of these styles. So it's very likely that your style.css will already be overriding bootstrap.css because it comes later in the page. It's referenced after Bootstrap most likely. But there's also the potential that it's not. And so we're just going to be defining the style in a more direct way. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with our media query. And so we have the opening bracket here, and I just always like to put the closing bracket right away. And then we're going to change this column width. I'm just going to copy this style because I have it right here, but you might have to type it in or go get it from Bootstrap. I put that inside the brackets that define the media query. And here we have the width. We're just going to change it to be 100%. Now, how can we be more specific? It's a pretty good chance that it might override right now, and then you're fine. Just refresh the page. But let's look at how to be, even more detailed with our analysis of the class. For instance, I don't know where all this col-md-4 is being used. So I only want to affect it up here in my header. It might be used throughout my site and affect many different elements. So let's just attack it right here, right where we want to. So we can see that there's this header above it, and that's inside page, and there's this row below it. This is div class.row. And let's look at how to reference those in our CSS. We're just going to refer to the header as a header. So any header on the page would be affected by this. But then we're going to be more specific and just say .row. I'm totally putting that on the wrong line. I'm thinking too much about what I'm saying and not what I'm doing. That, of course, needs to be up here. So here we have it. We're defining header, .row, .col-md-4. And there's spaces in between row and header. And that would make a difference. Let's save that change. Control S. And refresh the page. There we go. It's all the way across the page. It's no longer being affected. And I want to point out that this newsletter subscribe, which is right next to it, is also being affected by the change because it too is inside header.row .col-md4. So that leads me to the next little bit of this tutorial. What if we just want to remove the col.md4 from this div that's affecting this logo? What if we just want to do that because we want to preserve the other behavior? We even might want to assign our own specific class or ID so we can just target this element in particular. So I'm just going to revert my changes here. We'll just we'll just put the width back with our more specific declaration and leave all the changes in place. Save that and come back over and refresh. Okay, so we're back to square one. And I'm going to assume you have no idea where to find this HTML, but we can count on it being contained somewhere in some template. So we can also probably count on this class being assigned to whatever the container is. And we also have this div class logo to look at. You just need to look at your HTML and see if you can find something that's unique and search for it. So I'm going to edit this, and I'm just going to grab this class equals logo and the closing caret because that looks pretty specific to me. And I'm using Notepad++ for this example. I'm just going to hit Control-Shift-F. Control-Shift-F. All right, find in files. Find what? Well, I'm going to paste in what I just pulled over from the web page, and I'm going to tell it where to look. Okay, the directory is czamp htdocs is what I have set here, but I'm just going to browse for my actual WordPress directory. So in my case, it's in czamp htdocs blog. And then I also know to go into WP content, of course, and the themes. It's got to be in the theme. And then we go to 2013 because that's the theme that I'm looking in. You'd be searching either in your child directory or most likely in your child, in the child parents directory. So with that string plugged in here and the correct directory selected, I'm just going to hit find all. And it may just pop up for you, but I have to actually pull it up here. It has one hit. It has found class equals logo in this 2013 header.php. So we just double click on that line and we go right to that spot in the code. And we can see where this is defined. So there's the div class logo and there's the href. Now I want to point out if you're actually in your parent theme directory when you find this, you need to save a copy of this file in the child theme directory so that you're not overwriting the default template. So there's that class that's causing us so much trouble. We could just change the class to my own and whatever we want to name that, or we could just get rid of the class entirely, which is what I'm going to try first, and we'll see what happens. I'm trying this live with you guys. Oh, there you go. The class is gone. And we don't see that class. And now suddenly we have the full width image without any CSS change. Okay, I hope this has been extremely educational for you. I'm sure it was boring for some of you that are in the know, but maybe you still learned some tricks. But those of you that are new to this, I think you'll find this very invaluable, and I'm very happy to provide it. Mike White, the X-Cart Guru, signing off, wishing you good success in all your e-commerce efforts.